welcome to a very special edition of the Video Game Town Hall podcast. I'm your host and the mayor of Video Game Town, Jared Russo, and we are on vacation, sort of. It's a holiday, Thanksgiving week, so we're doing this well in advance. And I'm here with my fiance to talk a little bit about video games, but mostly about television. A thing that we do a lot of is just constantly watch TV. And with the rampant rumors and speculation flying around about the White Lotus Season 4 being set in Paris, France, or somewhere else in France. Somewhere in France. I'm here with my fiance, Katy Herman. We have lots of thoughts to get through, don't we?
Yes, I have been watching The White Lotus since the beginning and, being along for all of the internet reactions and watching it week to week since it's come out, but Jared had never seen it, and literally 10 minutes ago, we finished Season 3. I rewatched it and picked up on a lot of new things and caught a lot of new symbolism and little moments and formed some new opinions, and Jared was exposed for the first time, and he enjoyed it very much, I believe.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, what we're going to do first is discuss... I'm fascinated by the prospect of you getting into episodic games. There are a lot of games from Telltale. They did Back to the Future. I think they might have done a Law and Order. They did a Game of Thrones. They did, most famously, The Walking Dead, which is not up your alley, but I'm going to try to convince her to get into The Wolf Among Us and then Dispatch, which is essentially like, it's episodic, so these games are broken into episodes. It's very much like a season of television, and it's interactive storytelling, it's decision-making, it's picking dialogue options. There is a little bit of, puzzle solving, and there's, a little bit of movement and stuff, but, I would basically be handling that. Does this sound intriguing to you whatsoever?
Yes. Maybe not as, relaxing and fun as television, which is, what I use I use that as my brain turn-off time. Not that we can't analyze television, White Lotus needs to be close read. Yeah, I'm intrigued, especially Wolf Among Us, the premise you described, and also you didn't mention when you were describing this to me the other day that there's a Law and Order one. Dun dun do da 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 do. I would be into that.
I don't think it's very good. I think their early works are we got Jurassic Park and we got Back to the Future and we got, but those are I don't even want to say point-and-click adventures, which to you means nothing, but...
Context clues. I can get it.
Okay. I will show you clips and try to get you involved, and then maybe we'll do a Dispatch playthrough or a Wolf Among Us playthrough to not replace, but supplement our TV viewing.
Yeah, you were saying it's only 5 hours or so that I can give that a shot. If it was hours and hours and hours, I would rather be watching a longer series of television.
Plus, the fact that it's broken up means that you don't have to commit 8 hours or 10 hours of your life in one go. You could just be okay, we're going to do this episode, take a break. Do another episode, take a break. And then at the end of each one, you can see all the people who voted. It's not voting like American Idol, but it's you can see the decisions, what percentage of players picked this option or what percentage of players said this thing. And you can kind of see the story tree of where it would branch off. You didn't get to do the sequence because you made that choice, or you didn't get to talk to this person because you said the wrong thing, or things along those nature. But with Wolf Among Us, it's a mystery. So you're big bad wolf, you're a detective, and you're trying to solve a murder. And genuinely one of the best noirs I've ever experienced. And it almost got me to read the graphic novels Fables, but I never got around to it because I think there's a lot of source material. But anywho, that we'll update the audience on if we do such a thing.
I'm open. I'm willing. Especially if there's fairy tales involved.
Twists on fairy tales.
I like that.
Now that we got that out of the way, we hit our quota for game talk. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. We have thoughts on the White Lotus. In fact, we both put together, separately, a list of the top 5, or maybe in this case, bottom 5, worst characters. And by worst, we don't mean they're not well written, they're not developed, they don't have an arc. No.
Who fucking sucks?
Who fucking sucks? Who is the most loathsome, hateable characters who we sit there and go, God, I fucking hate this person. And we made a list going from 5 to 1 being the person we would most like to kill.
Well, I don't know if we would need to go that far, but we also, one of the rules of this is that Greg/Steve/Gary, whatever he's calling himself from season to season, is exempt from this as the main villain of the show, because he's the main villain of the show, and it would be boring to just pick him as the worst, because we know he's terrible.
Yeah, so this is the Gary, Greg, Steve memorial list. Like, he automatically would be number one. So this is sort of like who's competing for runner-up because conspired to kill his wife. Obviously, spoilers for all the seasons.
Major spoilers.
Major spoilers. Conspired to kill his wife, stole all of her money, and just seems like a pretty awful human being.
Yeah, I mean, the point... But the thing about the White Lotus, I think the other, like, kind of grain of salt everyone should take this with, is that the thing about the White Lotus is that almost everyone on it is a bad person. And my list is not necessarily, like, the people who have done the worst acts, like, oh, did this person commit murder? But it's, like, kind of analyzing their morals of, like, who just, like, really fucking sucks?
Who grinds our gears?
Yeah.
Who rubs off on us like sandpaper? Who do we despise to watch? So yeah, a lot of the show gets into, like, what is morality? Is it bad actions? Is it, like, the stances you take, the things you say or the things you do versus are you using your privilege? Are you using your money, class? Like, there's all these, like, sort of weird philosophical debates you could have about the characters and, like, oh, well, this guy's such a douchebag, but you're like, but, like, did he do anything? Or is he just, does he seem that way? Does he act that way? Is he really, you know what I mean? Like, if you're just, like, a douche at work, but, like, you haven't broken any laws and you, like, pay your taxes and you don't, like, cheat on your wife, then you're just, you know, like where does that rank versus, like, a guy who you really like, but he did some shady stuff because he had to, you know, like, these are the quandaries we get ourselves into.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we should have done also number one, top five best characters, but we just looked at each other and we're like, Megan Fahey, Harper, not Harper, Harper's, Aubrey Plaza, what's Megan Fahey's name? Daphne. And we're like, yeah, there's no contest, Daphne.
So, why don't you kick us off, number 5, characters you hate the most on the White Lotus?
This is really going to ruffle some feathers because this person is someone who might appear on people's favorites list and be like, oh, they're not that bad. Fucking Portia is number 5 for me, and here, let me tell you why. So the thing about Portia is that she is a complete and utter moron, and that's, like, really hard to watch. So her dynamic with Albie is really, really interesting, because that season 2, which is the best season, I think, objectively, we both agree on that at least, so that makes it the objective truth, is about sex and sexuality and how it impacts relationships and politics and interpersonal politics and dynamics. And instead of just exploring a typical, like, oh, I'm such a nice guy, nobody wants to date me, and that man is really a piece of shit, the interesting thing that happens with Portia and Albie's relationship is that Albie actually is really nice, and he expresses that, and that feeling that girls don't want to date him because he's too nice. But then he actually is, like, otherwise pretty nice and not incel-y. And Portia actually says she doesn't like dating guys that are nice. She just, like, wants to be with an asshole. And look how that fucking turns out for her. And I'm not saying women are at fault for their choices and that, like, women shouldn't be the victims. They absolutely are. But Portia makes a terrible choice there. She really just, like, sabotages herself, and then she knows her boss is getting murdered, and then she just goes and has fun and tries sunglasses on at the airport. She also has terrible outfits.
I kept hearing about how bad her outfits were the whole season.
She has, like, 2 good outfits, and the rest are really upsettingly bad in, like, a Gen Z trying to be in Y2K way.
Yeah, when you say, I just want to get thrown around by an Italian guy, and I only want to date the jerks, this is what could happen. Kidnapping, plotting, murder, stealing, running out on paying the bill. It's all fun and games, folks, until you meet a drunk guy who turns out to be, like, he was like screwing his uncle, but it's not really his uncle, so he's, like, working. I don't even, like, understand, like, what his role was in the whole whatever. So
he was a hired hunk, I think, just a criminal piece of ass. I don't know.
Weird. What a weird series of characters. Like, I don't think any of the murderous gays from season 2 are going to show up on our list, even though, like, they should be. But I feel like that kind of, like, they get categorized in with Gary, Greg, Steve, and it's like we know.
Right, like, they actually, like, are really, really evil because they're so I mean, Greg Steve is really evil, but, like, Gary, Greg, Steve, as they say. But the murderous gays, like, they are really convincing that they care about Tanya, and they're really, really horrible. But, like, they're not main cast, and they're hired by Greg, Gary, Steve, so, Yeah. Steve is what one of the murderous gays ends up calling him, like, when he's looking at his picture. He's not called Steve as much as he's called Gary or Greg, but just for clarity.
All right.
What's your number 5, honey?
My number 5 is Leslie Bibb's character, who I forgot her name because she's Kate, because she's a Trump voter, and I feel like this could be a short talk, but when you vote against your own interests and you vote against women's rights, and you've, like, just voting for, like, oh, I get a break in my taxes. Like, nah, man, you're voting for a bunch of, like, racists and, like, just the worst, most vile shit. So that means that that's what you're voting for. And that makes her a horrible person. Plus, I didn't really find anything interesting with her character the whole season. Like, she was just kind of used in the middle to, like, she was friends with one, and then she's friends with the other, and she sucks.
She does suck, and she's on my honorable mentions list, and I was literally, for a while, she was, like, number 5, and it's like, she voted for Trump, and that's it. But also, she sucks because she is, like, that classic, like, bitchy friend archetype who kind of adapts themselves as a chameleon to whoever they're talking to. It's like, oh, if I'm talking to Carrie, I hate Michelle. If I'm talking to Michelle, I hate Carrie, and I'm bitching, but then ultimately when they're both there, she aligns herself with Michelle Monaghan's character more because she's the more pretty and powerful one. So she's, like, that middle school bitch who never goes past middle school, and she voted for Trump. The one moment that I really do sympathize with her is when they were hanging out with all the Russian guys, and she's just like, I just want to go to bed. And I'm like, I hate that I'm Leslie Bibb in this moment when we just found out that she voted for Trump.
Who's your number 4?
Sorry, I can go on a long list here. My number 4 is Guy Talk. Fucking Guy Talk. And actually and like in the same vein, Mook. Because Guy Talk and Mook, their whole storyline makes me so angry. Guy Talk, the season 3, in the same way that season 2 is about sex and relationships, season 3 is about religion. And Guy Talk's beliefs are like the rest of him. Absolutely spineless. He says, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone because I'm a Buddhist. So I don't even, like, want to turn Valentine and his friends in, which it seems like he doesn't. But he caves, all he also wants is to date Mook. And he caves to Mook telling him and encouraging him to be more violent because all she cares about is having a guy with a good job. And that's, like, her whole motivation. She sucks. But she talks him out of his beliefs, and he's so easily talked out of his beliefs that he will shoot an unarmed person at the end, and then he gets the job because he did shoot. Jared's making a face because he's like, well, Walton Goggins killed all those people. He did, but at that moment he was unarmed, and if Guy Talk had any skill at his job whatsoever, which he clearly doesn't from the rest of the season because he sucks, he could have just cuffed him.
Listen, I'm not saying Guy Talk is, like, my guy. I don't ride or die for him, because there's a lot of characters on the show who don't know who they are, and they're very wishy-washy, and they don't know how to get the thing that they're after, and they kind of just, a penguin waddle through life, and just, oh, what was me, and But when he kills Walton Goggins had at that point murdered 3 people. He took them out. Good on him. And he got Mook. Good on him.
But Walton Goggins was carrying the body of his dead girlfriend, facing away from him, no longer threatening anyone. Guy Talk is so easily manipulated by the women who can give them what he wants, his boss, so that she just says, kill him. He does it. Mook, go for it, be violent. How quickly he turns on a dime away from these Buddhist beliefs that he claims to have. He
got the bad guy. He got the girl. He got a job. He got a promotion. He also found that gun, which he lost, but he found it.
Right, the ineptitude the entire season, because he, like Portia, is also a moron. So they both made on my list for being stupid as fuck.
My number 4 is Paula. She was a late addition. I kept wavering. Her stance is that of, like, there needs to be reparations for thousands of years of injustices. But then ultimately what she does is, in reality, hits on this dude and then is like, hey, here's the code to the safe. Go steal all their shit. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. First, if you're going to steal from white people, steal from them. Don't have some other jabroni do it on your behalf. 2, being a bad friend. And 3, I just didn't like watching her. Like, the actress is very attractive, but, like, just watching is, like, this kind of, like, stuck up, like, I know better than you, I'm smarter than you, but, like, I don't know. There's just a lot of friction between, like, the family and her just because she was friends with Sydney Sweeney. Just, like, not a great, appealing character. that, like, not that I have to root for these people, because obviously a lot of HBO shows now, the En Vogue thing with Succession and with this, have as many awful characters, and then for some reason everyone on the face of the earth, like, watches these shows and, like, roots for them and, like, wants them to, like, succeed or get away with stuff. There's not enough, like, schadenfreude of, like, I want to see bad things happen to the Roy family or to these people. But I was really like, boy, like, get that just smirk off your fucking smug face. But then she turned it to suck, so she made my list.
Yeah, I have someone in the Mossbacher party higher up on my list, so we'll just talk about that later. But I think like Portia and Olivia, Sydney Sweeney as Olivia, and what's the name of her boyfriend who she has steal things?
No clue.
That love triangle is, or if you can call it a love triangle, that triangle is like really, really fascinating. This like look at privilege, and Paula. I get why she wouldn't want to be a good friend to Sydney Sweeney, but, like, she is so naive and privileged, even though among the Mossbachers, she is less privileged because she doesn't have as much money and she's a woman of color, but she's still naive enough to be like, yeah, do this robbery, talk him into it. Not unlike Mook talking in a guy who's into her into something criminal. Yeah, it's, like, so obvious that can be traced back to her, because, like, who else would know they were out of the room? And the thing is, she's not on my list because she shows a good deal of remorse.
Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Cameron Sullivan, aka Theo James, who's just like a piece of shit. Is he a super fun piece of shit to watch? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's fantastic to watch. That unbelievable prosthetic dong, there it is. But there is no question that this man doesn't vote, is a serial womanizer, adulterer, probably doesn't pay his taxes, doesn't follow politics. Just, like, the worst of the worst finance, bro. Worse than Saxon Ratcliffe and any of the Ratcliffes, really. Just a piece of shit. Oh, yeah, tries to get his friend to commit insider trading for him. Always steals his friend's girls. Just, he fucking sucks.
He was on my list, and I replaced him with Paula, because I figured he would be on your list. Everything you said, yeah, I agree with. He was nearly in my top 5. I think that, like, the partying and the cheating... It, for him and his wife gets into, like, a little bit of a weird gray zone, because, like, they both kind of know but don't want to know and are okay with it. So that's, like, their own thing. But when you start to bring in, like, all these other people, and then you're, like, committing crimes, and you're, like, not paying the prostitutes, and like, just pay the prostitutes. Yeah. Like, come on, man. I mean, he eventually does, but what are you gonna do? I hope our neighbors don't hear us and go,
pay the prostitute.
Pay the prostitute. What the hell's going on in that apartment?
You probably hear a lot of weird shit.
Tell me about it. My number 3.
Go for your number 3, baby.
It's Timothy Radcliffe.
Wow.
And here's why. Commits horrible embezzlement and fraud for not even that much money. Blows up his life and his finances and his reputation. Obviously threatens to kill a lot of people. Is a jerk on the phone to his attorneys, played by Scott Galloway.
Jerk to Walton Goggins for no reason?
Jerk to Walton Goggins. Jerk to Kei Kwan, his business partner, who obviously they're in criminal cahoots with. Then plots to murder his family and himself with a gun, can't go through with it, steals his wife's pills, and then finally almost accidentally poisons to death his son, but also almost literally just, like, murder-suicides his entire family, which he chickens out. But, like, the amount of, like, almost murder he commits and the amount of, like, actual other financial crimes he commits, and plus he's a Duke fan. So, real evil. Just real evil motherfucker. Plus, he has Dobby as a slave.
Wow. Yeah, Jared was doing his Dobby impression the whole time Jason Isaacs was on screen, which is a much better accent than Jason Isaacs' attempt at a Southern accent.
Yeah, also not a great accent. He kept wavering. I just didn't believe it. I didn't know why they wouldn't just cast someone who could do, like, a regular Southern accent. Not to take work away from the wonderful Jason Isaacs, but Dobby was gifted a soul.
He was. I mean, there is a moment in, like, episode 2 where he, like, fully slips into a British accent. And that's okay. But this is, I respect this choice because you're right, he does all that bad shit, but I also think that his arc is one of redemption and one of, like, something that's probably, like, very emblematic of what a lot of, like, rich white businessmen would go through if they were threatened with being, like, everything being taken away from them, and he realizes that, like, he actually has more that's valuable to him than work and money, the same thing that kind of Saxon goes through. And he loves his family. He loves his family a lot, even though his wife is Piper.
But he almost murdered them several times.
But then to kill himself. Like, he genuinely thought they were all going to suffer more than in life than in death. Which, like, it is a fallacy that's ultimately proven true, but I don't think that was, like, from evil.
Hyper
no. Tsunami. Buddhism. Malarazepam.
Who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Olivia Mossbacher, aka Sydney Sweeney, who is worse than Portia, because she was a bitch friend to Portia to begin with.
Wait, you mean?
Sorry. Paula, there's a Paula and a Portia, getting confused. Thank you. Bitch friend to Paula, like, weirdly obsessed with her, has a track record of stealing her boyfriends, absolutely, like, virtue signaling that she, like, is woke with her family, but then treats her non-white friend like shit. And in that triangle of, her and then Portia and then Portia's boyfriend. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Paula does have more power, than her boyfriend, who she recruits to commit a crime. But Sydney Sweeney, Olivia, has more power than both of them, and she, like, sees Paula regretting it. And instead of turning Paula into her family, she just, like, makes Paula feel worse, and it just, like, tortures her and hangs it over her head. And she should be mad at Paula. But, like, their relationship is so twisted and toxic that, like, I don't blame Paula for wanting to fuck her up.
Yeah, trying to hit on her man, and, forcing her fucking loser brother to, like, sleep in this, like, tiny kitchenette thing. There's a whole lot going on.
Kai is, Portia's love interest.
Paula!
Oh my god, I can't do it. Kai is Paula's love interest.
You gotta stop talking about these characters.
Alright. Paula and Kai. Kai is the one who gets arrested because fucking Paula talked him into robbing the Mossbachers, who did deserve it, but that is not the point. But Olivia is worse than Paula, who is worse than Kai. Kai is an angel innocent baby who was just too easily talked into things.
No. My number 2 is your number 1, so let's just get out of the way. Let's talk about Shane.
Shane! He had to be on here.
Shane's the original douchebag character. He's the sort of, like, guiding light that all other douchebags on the show derive from. Just the whiniest baby, complains about can't let things go, super a tech bro, like, my mom's gonna call the manager and get someone fired energy, like a real Karen. But he also treats Alexander Daddario like dirt, and then he accidentally murders someone.
Yeah.
He fucking sucks!
With his carelessness. I mean, to me, he is the epitome of the White Lotus. Like, the White Lotus will never top that, like, rich boy carelessness in my mind.
Flirting, and, God, I hate that guy.
Yeah, you keep thinking more things he did. Like, I feel like I need to, like, detail it. I mean, like, there are so many, like, just careless, callous one-liners he says to Alexander Daddario they're so degrading and misogynistic and just manipulative and toxic, and it's gross. And I actually almost put his mom, what's her face, on here? Molly Shannon. I almost put Molly Shannon on here, but I'm like, they're one in this. Like, she birthed him literally and figuratively.
If Alexander Daddario was my wife, I would not treat her like garbage. And yet, at that first scene to open the entire show, the very first episode, the pilot, it's a fucking jerk to those people at the airport. He sucks.
Well, I mean, in that moment he was upset for, like, a good reason. But, like, I also think, I mean, he absolutely sucks. But I do think that, like, it's worth noting that, like, the beauty of the show is that all of his antagonists also suck in their own way. Like, Armand, terrible at his job. I mean, like, it's terrible that he died. He was obviously an addict, but, like, he really fucks up other people's lives, and lies to people, and just, like, enjoys doing it throughout the season and steal shit. And also Alexander Daddario, you want to like her, but seems like, and she shouldn't be treated the way she's being treated, but it does kind of seem like she's not great at her job. And she also ultimately caves. She stays with Jake.
So Shane's your number 1. And that means we get to the whole point of this podcast. This is where I get to rant about.
This is literally why he chose to do this, and this is such a bad take.
The character I hate the most on the White Lotus, probably forever, is fucking Ethan. How dare you, sir, be married to Aubrey Plaza and just act like you're married to a witch. I'm sorry, sir.
She's a witch in Agatha all along, right?
No, she plays the embodiment of death.
Oh, okay.
Who can do witch things. If I was married to Aubrey Plaza, I would treat her like a goddamn angel, like a princess. And all this fucking guy does is take it for granted and fucking complain and whine and blah, blah, blah. I hate that fucking weasel so much. He has everything. And oh my god, I would straight up pick Cameron. Cameron, way better. Ethan sucks so horribly. I cannot tolerate him and his petulance. Oh, fucking the worst. Hate Ethan.
How do you really feel? I also think you're all listening to Jared talk about how well he would treat his wife if they were Alexander Daddario or Aubrey Plaza, so let's hope that stands if they're me, too. Because apparently I'm going to be his wife. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But I really think part of the reason you hate Ethan so much, 90% of why you hate Ethan so much is because you love Aubrey Plaza and want to be with her. But, like, I will say that on this watch, I liked Ethan less than the first time. Like, I find Ethan very attractive, and so I wanted to like him more, but, like, he is gaslighty. He does hide the truth about, he could have just said, like, we kissed.
Dude, just be like, hey, some crazy shit happened last night. It was all his fault. Oh, there's a condom in the couch. Guess whose fault it was? Just immediately say it out loud. Just tell her everything. Hide nothing from this woman. And then don't fucking accuse her of all this shit later on.
Although she might have done it.
Aubrey Plaza, you do whatever you want. Okay? Ethan, you are fucking trash. And I hate you. Not the actor who plays him, who does a great job. The character Ethan.
And who's hot.
Please take a long walk off a short pier. Walk into oncoming traffic. How dare you fucking treat Aubrey Plaza that way?
This really was the
catalyst.
Thank you, catalyst is the word I'm looking for. The catalyst for this entire podcast.
Our honorable mentions go.
My honorable mention, who, like, now after watching that episode, I almost want to be on the list. It's fucking Lachlan Radcliffe.
Yeah, he was close to being on my list.
And you know why? But, like, it's weird because he's portrayed as, like, the sweet, innocent one that, like, literally comes back to life and is the one that could survive without money. So he has some redeeming qualities. But he also fucking sucks.
Jerked his brother off, is a total people pleaser in the worst way. He just, like, can't make any decisions. He's just, like, following people and just like, oh, I'll do the thing you're doing. It's like, oh my god, like, figure yourself out, man.
I mean, he is only 18, so, like, his frontal lobe is not fully developed. He literally does not know who he is, but it's very painful to watch, and he is kind of sexually in love with both of his siblings. And he also tries to take Piper's thing from her just so he could be with her because he doesn't know what his thing is. Like, no social cues of, like, reading that that's not what she would want, even if she did want to stay at the monastery. And then, worst of all, he's a gross teenage boy who knows that there's, quote-unquote, spoiled coconut milk in a blender. It's like, I guess I just won't rinse it. The sink is right there. He deserves whatever happens to him. If you die because you won't rinse out a fucking blender, so be it.
I am stunned, by the way, that Saxon is not on either of our list. I feel like Saxon, played wonderfully by Patrick Schwarzenegger, early on is meant to be like the new Shane in that he's like this like fucking douche bro, and you're supposed to hate him, and he's just, but like he ultimately doesn't really even like do anything, and he really like by the end he kind of like comes around, and you're like maybe he like figured some stuff out, but he really doesn't like I don't have any like behaviors or like actions of his where I'm like, that's top 5 worthy.
No, I actually like would venture to say that he sucks maybe the least of his entire family. Or no, Piper sucks the least maybe because she's just like real. Yeah, I think Piper sucks the least, but then he's the second least sucky. But I agree. Like you're surprised, but like he kind of has this beautiful legacy of like what's Amy Lou Wood's character's name? Chelsea. Like Chelsea changes him for the better. Some could say for good.
Her name is Chelsea?
Her name is Chelsea.
We just call her Amy Lou Wood.
Isn't it good? Amy Lou Wood.
We both have Fabian.
He's so punchable.
Oh, I fucking hate that guy. That guy's the worst.
And he just gaslights Belinda. Is like, oh, you think that guy's trying to kill you? I'm sure it'll be fine. Believe women. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he sucks. You have Bert DeGrasso, really Michael Imperioli's character, and then his son is Albie.
Yeah,
and then the grandpa's Bert.
The grandpa's Bert, who is, I didn't know his name was Bert until I looked it up.
They all suck to varying degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking, how dare you? To Laura Dern?
Yeah.
To Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
Unbelievable. Connie Britton's character, you could make a case.
Connie Britton's character fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Valentine, all the Mossbachers for the most part suck.
Yeah. Valentine for conspiring
and his friends.
Yeah, to steal all the jewels.
Yeah. But there is like an argument to be made that Valentine and his friends, like, you don't know if you should believe them that they're doing it because they like need to help their families and they are immigrants who can't make money without visas.
And who else is on your honorable mentions?
Kate, who we already talked about.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, the thing I was going to say about Bert is like, I mean, Arguably, Michael Imperioli's character is worse, because, like, it does...
Oh, way worse.
But the thing about Bert is that, like, he has no shame about it. Like, it's so ingrained. It's ironic that it's F. Murray Abraham, who, one, I once saw at a restaurant in New York, and two, has, like, since had Me Too accusations against him. But, like, he has no shame. Like, Michael Imperioli, like, is a sex addict who, like, has some shame about it. Like, Bert DeGrasso talks to every woman in the most slimy way and has no shame about it.
And this is going to bring us to our final segment, which is, what character should return, but mostly, what actors and actresses do we want to see on season 4, set in France? I believe it's Paris.
I hope it is.
Could be somewhere else in France. Or it's going to call it France. We have a really long list of random people who we want to see on the White Lotus. Character actors, famous A-listers, award winners. I'm not sure how we're going to do this.
We can kind of rapid fire it with little...
So why don't you rapid fire, and then I'll sort of react to the names you have written down.
Yeah, well, first you want to talk about returning, because I'm really curious to hear who your returning guests are.
I just have one, and it's, I want to get this right. Pam the phone bag lady, played by Morgana O'Reilly. I only want to see her back so she could just do the most passive-aggressive, like, oh, okay, good for you.
Phone bag lady.
Put your phones in this fucking bag. That's my goddamn job. She's great. I want more of her.
Oh my god, I hope that happens. I had no idea who you were going to say, and that was a great answer. Plot-wise, I have been kind of hoping that Portia realizes that she is, like, the only person who really now knows what happened to Tanya. And maybe she and Albie, so Haley Lou Richardson returning as Portia, and the very hot Adam DeMarco from Radio Rebel, underrated decom that the internet roasts the shit out of, but it's a delight. I said what I said.
I didn't understand any of the words you just
Disney
said.
Disney Channel original movie.
I don't care.
You know the meme that was going around of, like, Debbie Ryan, like, pushing her hair behind her ear? That's her looking at Albie.
No. Please
DeGrasso.
continue.
Anyway, I hope that they got together in their mutual stupidity. And, you know, maybe Portia finds out he, like, a nice guy's okay as long as he's almost as dumb as you. And, that they kind of come back and find a way to get Greg, Gary, Steve. I think it's also possible that Belinda, could come back, but I mean, like, hopefully she's just riding off into the sunset with her millions, but I mean, she did to Pornchai exactly what Jennifer Coolidge did to her, so, you know, we may not be done with her, and Natasha Rothwell loves being on the show and is so fabulous and, like, could become, like, a most seasoned character. And I love her hot son, too. Ooh.
So, why don't you go through the names you have written down for actors you would like to see on The White Lotus?
Yeah.
I'm assuming Natasha Lyonne's number one, right?
Absolutely fucking not.
No? What about Uzo
Aduba?
You're
You're just naming TV detective ladies?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are on Orange is the New Black. So, yeah. All right, let me go. This is just a lot of people that I like and who I think are, like, fantastic character actors, icons, etc., etc.
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson should have been on here, but I actually have Max Greenfield on here because he has done prestige dramas before. Not that Jake Johnson, I mean, hasn't, but Max Greenfield, who played Schmidt on New Girl. Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
American legend, American treasure. Lisa Ann Walter from The Parent Trap and Abbott Elementary.
Yep.
Amazing. Henry Winkler could play her husband. Angela Bassett, another great older person who does TV now.
Yep.
Justin Theroux, my man, who the Pitbull advocate.
Yeah.
Right level of famous. Sterling K. Brown, hottie. Prestige television darling. Logan Lerman, who should be in more things, and hopefully Only Murders in the Building leads to him being in more things. Also a hottie. Simone Ashley should also be in more things. She was, Jared's making a face, she's the lead in season 2 of Bridgerton. She was cut from F1, even though she's gorgeous. She's done a lot of Nespresso ads with George Clooney, and she's in The New Devil Wears Prada. Fucking gorgeous girly who should be in the show. Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow would be fucking hilarious on this show.
That's Phoebe.
That is Phoebe. She could be Jennifer Coolidge-esque. Nkuti Gatwa, former Doctor Who, former Ken doll, and former co-star and bestie of Amy Lou Wood from Sex Education. So let's continue that legacy. Ava Mendes, who hasn't acted in a while, let's bring her back so that she can talk about Ryan Gosling on the press tour. I don't mean to that to sound sexist. She's not defined by her husband, but their relationship is cute. Hunter Schafer, young actress who should be in more things. Yep. Prestige darling, HBO darling.
Yep.
Stephanie Beatriz should also be in more things. Aaron Pierre, gorgeous eyes, hasn't been in that many things. Mason Thames for a good teen actor. He's in the new Colleen Hoover adaptation, and he is the kid from How to Train Your Dragon. He's cute. Gillian Anderson should be in everything.
Gillian Anderson should be in everything.
Yeah.
And I think she should play a character married to David Duchovny.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mike White would do that.
Now we're talking.
Mike White would do that.
Yeah.
A Sprouse twin, preferably Dylan, because Dylan is the better one. Sorry to Cole, who I met at AwesomeCon DC one time. And actually, maybe Dylan's hot wife, model Barbara Palvin, could come in and they could be in it together, so I can look at them together. And then any Jonas brother, including Frankie.
That's bonus Jonas.
Yes, that is the bonus. He doesn't like being called Frankie anymore. He likes being called Franklin.
That's a very good list. My list is it's really long, and I'm going to really rapid fire this. Why is Kathy Bates not playing someone rich, famous, and powerful?
So true. Hundo P.
Steve Buscemi, he needs to appear. Danny Trejo.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Trejo's a good one. What if Mike White were to actually act? Again.
Wait, is Jack Black on your list? Can we have a School of Rock reunion?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, why isn't that happening
And
yet?
Joan Cusack.
And Miranda Cosgrove. Whole School of Rock reunion.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh my god.
Stanley Tucci.
The
The Tooch.
Tucci Gang.
Literally all the Skarsgårds. Like, have them play a family.
Absolutely.
Maya Erskine.
Just
Donald Glover.
Not.
Sure, why not? I mean, Imogene Poots. Terrible name, but wonderful. What if Mudang showed up?
Well, that was the Thailand. The kids who played the Ratcliffe siblings did a video where they went to visit Mudang while they were filming.
They should have had Mudang on them.
Yeah. They missed their window. For
Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost.
Yeah, of course.
Playing a couple. Alan Cummings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's in Europe filming The Traitors. I mean, he is European.
Hotel manager. Allison Williams.
Yep.
From Megan and Friends. Or not Friends, Girls. Perry Keoghan playing a fucking nut job.
Sure.
He
doesn't have to act to be a fucking nut
have
job.
a Sabrina Carpenter appearance? Who knows? It's set in France, so let's have Blue's the Warmest Color. Have Lea Seydoux and Adele Exarchopoulos show up as a couple. That would be a fun reunion. They could be French together. Why has no one said Glenn Powell?
Yeah, that's true.
Or any of the other hotties?
Is he too big?
Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey might be too big now.
Penn Badgley, I'm shocked you didn't say.
Oh, he could do it. That's a great point. Andrew Garfield. We just name all my crushes.
He's two. Like if Clooney or Pitt or Dame, like Andrew Garfield is like, you're too big. I think everyone from the cast of the new Superman should be on the White Lotus. Would you not want to see Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet and Nicholas Hoult and remember the redhead played Jimmy Olsen, yes. Skylar Gisondo?
Yes.
He's great in Licorice Pizza. He could play a character. Real scumbag. Anna Faris.
Oh, that's a great one.
And Isla Fisher. It would be fun, like wealthy, complainy women.
I was in an elevator with Isla Fisher. Or I got out of an elevator and she was there.
Toni Collette.
It's amazing she has it. She's the Australian Laura Dern.
Toni Collette could play every character on the White Lotus combined.
True. Yeah, this is so true. Nailing it.
Everyone from Death Stranding, so Mads Mikkelsen, Elle Fanning, Norman Reedus, just throw in all the Kojima actors. Tilda Swinton.
Wow.
That's a good one.
She's a chameleon.
Kingsley Ben-Adir, who I really, really, really enjoy.
Another Ken.
What about the cast of Schitt's Creek?
Wow. It's amazing that no one from Schitt's Creek has been on. It's amazing that no one from Schitt's Creek has been on. Annie Murphy would be fantastic. Catherine O'Hara would be fantastic. Dan Levy would be fantastic.
Laura Dern's character returns.
Can we, for people who don't know,
she was on the phone.
She was the voice on the phone for Michael Imperioli's wife. Yeah.
Anne Hathaway. Maybe she's too big.
She's definitely too big.
The cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Hundo P.
Caitlin
Caitlin Olsen and everything.
Danny DeVito. Charlie Day. Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Imagine him saying shit like, these Frenchmen, Matt Berry.
He's my best friend. He's my pal.
My good time boy.
My sweet cheese.
What if De Niro and Pacino played a gay couple?
So I like how you're like going like, is this person too big? How about De Niro and Pacino? But yeah, I would love that.
Then I just listed off a whole bunch of awesome character actors who we both love. And I don't know if you're going to know all these names inherently off the top of your head, but Shea Whigham needs to be on the show. Stephen Root needs to be on the show. Patrick
You put him on your list and you don't know the answer? He is Googling someone he put on his own list,
Did I typo this? Kid. Patrick Fischler. Oh, yeah, this guy. So this guy...
that guy with the creepy-ass face.
Yeah,
he's in a lot of stuff, yeah.
Patrick Warburton, I just realized it.
Oh, Hundo P, yeah.
Danny Houston. If you saw him, he was the bad guy in the most recent Naked Gun. He's been in 1,000. He played Stryker in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Holt McCallany?
I don't know who
I don't know how to say it. He's the other guy from what the fuck is the show with Jonathan Groff?
Mindhunter.
I was like Mindbender. John Carroll Lynch, who is the husband in Fargo for you, and
Okay.
the possible Zodiac killer in Zodiac.
Oh, yeah, he's in everything.
Keith David, Nicolas Cage,
Sure.
Stephen McKinley Henderson, Richard Kind,
Yeah.
Michael Stuhlbarg,
You say that Richard Kind and Michael Stuhlbarg should be in everything, but they probably should, and they kind of already are.
Bill Camp, who was the lawyer from Presumed Innocent
Okay.
next to Jake Gyllenhaal. What if the entire cast of Wicked, Cynthia,
Are they too big?
Ariana,
How about the entire cast of Wicked?
throw in
Cynthia would be so cunty in Paris.
throw in Michelle, throw in
fabulous.
Bowen Yang.
Oh, Bo and Yang.
And so that got me thinking about like Keenan and Ego and Heidi and a bunch of other
I
SNL
think
people.
there'll be an SNL alum.
What if Keanu and Alex Winter,
Wow.
Bill
Yeah.
and Ted hook up?
They're doing Waiting for Godot on Broadway right now.
And ultimately, Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson need to play two friends who go to the resort and they take all the drugs and then bad shit happens.
But that's kind of would just be
That's
Walton Goggins and Sam Rockwell.
Genius. Well, it worked out well for
It
them.
did.
Just do it
It
again.
didn't work out well for them at all.
You know what I mean. Like for the viewer, it worked out for the show.
Sure. So we've now listed enough people that and a lot of them were very, very good guesses or suggestions, and I would be shocked if at least one of them was not on the list next season. So stay tuned.
It'd be so funny if they just like cast like complete no names and we.
No, they can't do that. That's not the White Lotus is the Knives Out of television.
Oh, everyone from Challengers.
Again, well, I think the boys from Challengers would be great. I mean, Zendaya's. I mean, she's an HBO girly like Hunter Schafer and Sydney Sweeney. You know,
Or just bring back the cast of The Wire.
you're just making this reunions now. It makes sense for there to be
It's
Mike
great.
White reunions.
Dominic West and Wendell Pierce and just bring everyone back.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, she's like the right level.
Oh, she's been on a couple HBO things. She's good.
I don't like her, but
She's
the
great.
vibe.
Come on, James Spader and her.
She probably had a Taylor Swift metaphorical scarf in her
All right.
drawer.
We're gonna end this. We're gonna wrap this up. Please go to Video Game Town on Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're on Patreon. We're on Ko-fi. Videogame.town. It's video games, but it's also a bunch of other horseshit, just like we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes.
Martin Short, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, Steve Martin, no, but Martin
Yeah.
Short, yes.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep, yes.
I like how a week ago when I said Martin Short, you were like, he's too big, and then you're like, fucking Al Pacino.
Listen, I would just use like all of the Wes Anderson like actors, like Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller, Luke Wilson, Danny Glover, Angelica Houston,
Adam Scott.
Bill Murray,
You said Ben Stiller.
Tom
Maybe Adam
Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul. Just like throw in like all those people. That'd be great.
Go back and listen to our first podcast together where I thirst for Adam Scott.
Please don't.
You don't want your viewers to listen? You don't want more views and listens to your podcast? Okay.
Grant, cut this.
He said what he said.
Edit this out. Thank you for listening, and we will return eventually and talk more about video games in December when we're all back, and then we'll be doing a lot of Game of the Year stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Katie, for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Any other final notes for the listeners?
Don't stay at a White Lotus hotel. Someone will probably get murdered.
I feel like they shoot at the Four Seasons. I feel like they had like a deal. They reskin.
I feel like the Four Season wouldn't want that. I don't know where they shoot. That can be
Dude.
researched.
You know how many products like put the White Lotus stuff on there to like sell more?
No, I know,
Hold on.
but yeah.
All right, don't get murdered.